What's up, sports fans? I'm your host, Erica,
I'm your other host, Makenna.
and this is Short Sports.
Woo!
Today, we are going to talk about a couple fun things, but first, I'm going to throw it to Mac because she has a story that she wants to talk about today, and I'm so excited.
We're gonna talk about tiny football car.
Tiny football car.
What is tiny football car? That's a good question.
It
Tiny
is.
football car is a little RC. I have the exact model. A mini RC Volkswagen SUV ID4. It's like
Mhm.
1/5 the size of the actual Volkswagen car. It's, like I said, remote control, and it brings the soccer ball onto the pitch and is being used in the Euros tournament. It first appeared the first game of the season in Rome, Italy versus Turkey, and then it wasn't seen until the semifinal games in London at Wembley, and then it's going to show up again at the final game.
I love this story. I love this story so much.
Tiny football car has taken everybody's hearts.
It
It's
really has.
certainly mine.
I
Uh,
So when you brought this up to me there, and you're like, I have a story that we need to talk about when we record this weekend. And I'm like, absolutely. I love it when you bring me stories. It makes me so happy. So, and then you sent me the link and I just lost it.
yeah.
Lost it. Tiny football car. So do you know how many followers on Twitter Tiny Football Car has?
Last time I checked, I think it was like 11,000. I want to say
Okay.
15,000.
You are almost right on the money. 15.2 thousand
Oh my
followers
god!
on Twitter, this tiny football car, and it has its own hashtag and everything. I would be, I mean, so we're taping this right before the finals.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like tiny football car will be trending at some point in time on Twitter today.
Oh gosh.
All I had to
Yes.
do was type in the word tiny in the search
Mhm.
field on Twitter, and that was the first result was tiny football car. That's awesome.
So
Um, Good.
I don't know if you've seen the campaign to get a tiny football car for FCF.
I have indeed. I commented on that
Oh, yes.
because so a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I worked for a hobby shop and we had quite the RC car section in the store, and I had helped a little bit, so I know a bit about RC cars, and all the million and five parts they have, and man, oh man, the money people can spend on these suckers, which is why I never got into them because I'm already a car person, uh, and that I know I would go bankrupt probably. So I never dabbled, but I did help a lot of people with them. So the RC car thing, just I love RC cars. They're great. Uh but this guy, I love the Volkswagen one. It's pretty cool. And I do believe they did a rainbow car for Pride,
They
uh,
did.
which was super awesome. But yeah, the ID4, and I love this idea. It's great, because you there's still a pandemic going on. So to minimize, you know, interaction with people, especially these officials that need to stay safe, this is a great way to do it. I love it. Like this is ingenious. Um,
It's what
it's
a car.
great. Yes.
It's adorable.
It is adorable, and I love this. Tiny football car actually tweeted about an hour ago. Lots of you asking me if I'm nervous. I think this gift sums it up well, and it is a gift from Toy Story, where Rex is saying, "I'm both excited and panic stricken." Poor tiny football car is so nervous for today. He's going to be on the big stage for the finals.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him. He's achieved so much.
That's a great
So
story.
so proud of tiny football car.
I love these side stories that you always get with the big championship games because there's always something that
Mhm.
is happening off to the side that is cute and heartfelt. I know we kind of like we talked about some fans from the games on our first episode, and like I said, one that kind of comes to mind is just Layla's story with the St. Louis Blues the year that they won the cup. I mean, yeah, it was great, but her story was almost better than the finals. Like I loved
Mhm.
it. This tiny football car is it's kind of the same. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love football/soccer, but I love this story. It's these feel good stories that are the best, and I love that he's taken over the world. It's great.
Mm-hmm. So proud, so proud.
Well, awesome. So we know again this is going to come out more than likely after the finals are over, but England Italy today, so I'm sure we'll both be watching, and I know we have a lot of friends who are very very excited.
It's coming home.
It's coming home.
It's coming home. Football's
So
coming home.
So speaking of finals, you're fine. Speaking of finals, the Stanley Cup finals just wrapped up. Tampa Bay going back to back. Pretty big news. That's pretty huge. I know, and kind of something that a lot of sports fans have been talking about the past year and a half, 2 years with the pandemic and everything is, oh, well, all these championships won in this time era are going to have an asterisk by them because they're COVID times. I think that's silly. I mean, so even if we are in exceptional times, still winning a back-to-back championship while one year being in a bubble playing with nobody, and then the next year coming back to playing with multiple breaks in the season because teams have had COVID and issues like that is still pretty impressive to win back-to-back. Even though Tampa has another asterisk, I'd like to think, because they were $18 million over the cap because of some finagling, which is always interesting. I'm sure we'll be talking about that at some point in time because Chicago did the same thing quite a few years ago. I believe it was 2012. But, I mean, at the same point in time as well, you had one guy who scored over 30 in the playoffs who didn't play a single game all year long. And that man is Nikita Kucherov. So, we know Nikita Kucherov missed the regular season due to injury. He had some surgery after last year. But I think what most people are going to know him from now is his rather interesting post-game interview after they won the Stanley Cup. So, Russians always do interviews, I feel like, especially the ones who are more comfortable. There's Russian players such as Evgeny Malkin, who's never been quite the one for the media and stuff like that. He never does a ton of interviews. But a lot of people know Ilya Bryzgalov, former goaltender from the Philadelphia Flyers. And I actually saw this fantastic tweet that said, Ilya Bryzgalov only holds 24 of the top 25 Russian player interviews of all time now, thanks to Nikita Kucherov. So I sent you the link to this interview after the game. What did you think?
What a man. I've never seen a. Now, I mean, I've just gotten into sports. This is it's going to be pretty hard to beat this post game interview in my mind, just because it was so good, so good.
It was. So if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you pause, go watch the 5-minute interview, and then come back and finish because it's pure gold.
It really is.
So we start with Nikita Kucherov sitting shirtless at his media bench, chugging a Bud Light. I mean, I know we saw earlier this year when the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl and Tom Brady had that fabulous moment on his boat where he's throwing stuff from the other boat and everything else. By the way, there will be a boat parade for Tampa Bay for winning the Stanley Cup. They're going to do the boat parade as well. But
short sports on a boat?
Short sports, I'm good with this. I have a rowboat in my backyard.
I'm on a boat.
There we go. Let's go. So, yeah, just him sitting there drinking this Bud Light is hilarious. And then they're like, Joe from The Athletic, and he just starts cracking up. He's like, Joe, what's up? Like he, is his best friend talking. And I love his phrase, and probably my new favorite phrase is #1 bullshit. I love this. It's hilarious. So funny. But let's go through this interview because a lot of this interview was him just praising their goaltender, Vasilevsky. Obviously won the Conn Smythe, which is the MVP of the playoffs. Rightfully so, especially with that shutout for the last game of the Stanley Cup Finals. A lot of people actually thought it was going to go to Kucherov, but, he just the whole time was just like, I keep telling Vazzy he's the best. He's, no one's better than him. and they give the Vezina the guy in Vegas, and then they give the other one to the guy the year before. Like, it's just, and he just keeps going on and on and on about how great Vasilevsky is, which was, and I love him. He's like, any other market, he'd be number one goaltender all the time and win all the trophies. And the NHL snubbed him for not giving him the Vezina, and just going on. Now, Fleury was the one who won the Vezina this year, which is the trophy for best goaltender in the league during the regular season. I mean, someone who has watched Fleury from the beginning of his career, do I think he's been snubbed a couple times? Probably, for not winning that one. But we've had a lot of really good goaltenders. I do believe Vasilevsky will win a Vezina in due time. He is a fantastic goaltender, and he definitely deserves to win one at some point. But it's just funny. And then, like, they asked him, how does Vasilevsky feel when you keep telling him all this stuff? He's like, oh, he's just so humble. He's like, oh, no. And it's a fantastic interview. But I think the highlight for me was when they bring him out champagne, and he's like, that's not Bud Light. Like, I think that was my favorite.
A Bud Light sponsorship.
He should definitely get a Bud Light sponsorship. And to the point where I was actually taking a walk yesterday. It was really nice outside. I took a nice little walk, and I saw a Bud Light can underneath a tree. And I was like, is Kucherov around here somewhere? Like, where is he? He's got to be around. There's a Bud Light can. So I thought that was great.
If you drink a Bud Light and say his name 3 times in a mirror, he'll appear.
He'll appear. I'm going to try that later. Just for fun. No, I don't know. I don't drink Bud Light. I don't drink beer. It's terrible. Especially that one. But, oh man, this interview was just great. It was great.
So good.
I mean, he took a dig at some of the Canadiens fans and the Canadian team a little bit. But I was just like, ew. But you know what? He just won the Stanley Cup. Yeah. Drunk Russian's going to say drunk Russian things sometimes. It's good. So that brings us to our brackets. We did the bracket challenge at the beginning of the playoffs. We posted that video. Oof. So I know I had the Penguins and the Knights going to the finals. The Knights at least made it to the semis. I mean,
there you go.
Penguins got knocked out first round. It's fine. So, yep. And then you had the Penguins and the Oilers.
Yep. And if I'm reading this correctly, both got knocked out in the first round.
They sure did. There was a lot of I know one of the articles that they put out towards the beginning on The Athletic, again, fantastic site. Love a lot of those writers very much. There was one of the writers was talking about how the officiating during the finals, or not just the not the finals, but the playoffs overall, especially in the first round, was a little discouraging. We'll go with. There was a lot of stuff that he felt just didn't seem to fit right. For example, with the Oilers, Connor McDavid, someone we've talked about before, did not draw a single penalty in their series. For Connor McDavid, like, that should be statistically impossible for him to go that many games and not draw a penalty. And I'm going to say, and I know not even just watching the Pens Islanders series, I did watch quite a few of the series because I do watch a lot of hockey when it's on, but I feel like there were, you had a lot of missed calls and a lot of things that probably should have been called. Were they going to change the outcome of the series? Maybe, probably not, but it is something that, maybe they should look into in the future, maybe. So, but yeah, our brackets were terrible, which leads me to believe that I should just never do brackets ever again.
Yeah, like, the only brackets I've ever done is March Madness, and I mean, I should have just knew from there that I would be atrocious at any bracket in general.
Maybe we'll do March Madness ones, though, anyways, because I still think that would be fun.
That would be really fun.
We should do. But speaking of things that are fun, since we're going to take a break off brackets for a little bit, we decided, how about fantasy football instead? So, we do have a fantasy football league, and we would like to invite some of you to come join us to play. So, if you are interested in joining the fantasy football league, we do have quite a few spots still open because we did just make it. Only 2 of us are there right now. So, hey, we need some friends. Come hang out. Come play some fantasy football. We'll probably do really, really bad like we did with our fantasy hockeys, or, our hockey brackets.
I have
But
no
also,
idea how fantasy football works, so I already know I'm
exactly.
gonna lose. But
It's going to
it'll
be fun. Sometimes you just need to pick players based on their names. I usually find out that actually works out better than picking
Yeah.
people by skill. It's cool. So we do have the fantasy football league. If you'd like to join, you can either DM us on Short Sports. You can DM either of us, me at Ambelina and Makenna at PotterPants212, and we'll send you the invite. We're going to probably do the draft right before the regular season starts, just so we cannot have to deal with any of those preseason injuries. I know that has hurt me in the past playing fantasy football, so we're going to try to avoid that as much as we can. But also just, to tease a little bit into the future, fantasy hockey as well. So, it'll be fun. Let's have a little fun. Let's see how this goes. And then hopefully, like maybe at the end of the fantasy football season, we can have some of you on as guests and we can just all talk about it. But, we're also going to record when we do our fantasy draft as well. So, yeah, let us know if you'd like to join us because it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah. All right. But for now, I think that is going to wrap it up for the day. We do have some football soccer to watch. So you can find. Oh, God.
Sorry. How cool
nope,
would it
it's fine.
If I would have taken this hockey jersey off and I had a soccer jersey on underneath it?
That'd be perfect. I need to get a soccer jersey. Maybe we should order. Maybe we should, because I know that shipping is rough from over there. Maybe we'll just order them together and then we'll just, we'll just split them.
Tom Dak, throw us over some jerseys.
Tom, we need some jerseys. Friend of the show, Tom Dak. Throw us over some. He don't miss, so it'd be perfect, right?
He don't miss. He's a
there we go. All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up for today so we can go get ready to watch those finals. You can find me at Ambelina on Twitter.
You can find me at PotterPants212 on Twitter.
Awesome. And until next time, just go watch some sports.
Yeah. Sports.
Bye.